It is time to get into Worlds Collide. What is up, everybody? It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, and it is super late, but I have been nonstop all freaking day, guys. I was at Worlds Collide today, and I almost didn't go. I almost watched it from home, but I'm so glad that I ended up going to the show because I had a really nice time, and I can't wait to talk about the show, what went down, and how much more different the experience was being there live in person at the Kia Forum versus watching the broadcast on YouTube. So let's get to it. All right. So the first thing that I want to say about this show is the thing that I did like right off the bat that I liked about Worlds Collide was that there was a different energy in the air. I can't really describe it, but I felt like the fans there in the building were really passionate about seeing WWE essentially give Lucha Libre this type of platform, give them a different kind of a platform. And obviously, Lucha Libre is huge within its own right in Mexico, and it's embedded so much into the culture, but now kind of giving it this different kind of a light that hasn't been given here in the United States. And so this was a huge night. And I think that for the most part, people were really feeling that, like they really want to see this acquisition really succeed. And I could see it from the fans because pretty much by the way, Kia Forum was pretty damn full in there. Like for the most part, all of the seats were filled and people, like I said, were excited. But the predominant audience that was there were Latinos. Like it was totally a little bit different from Money in the Bank. Obviously, Money in the Bank being in Los Angeles, there was still so many Latinos, but I saw even more at this show, and I even saw like older people at this show too. And I think a lot of it had to do where it was like, oh shit, like this is a lucha show, like I can bring my mom, I can bring my dad to something like this. And that's what I kind of saw from the actual show, was that there was people that are already lucha fans, or hell, maybe they just wanted to go watch a lucha show. So even though this was a WWE show, I did notice a difference in the audience from the second that I walked into the building, and it was nice. Also, right when I got there, there was a merch truck on the outside, and in this merch truck we were seeing all this merchandise, right? But by the time I got there, and mind you, I got there probably 20 to 25 minutes before the show actually started. I consider that on time, by the way. And I got there and all of the merch was basically gone. I shared some pictures on Twitter, and there really wasn't that much left. I ended up getting a Stephanie Vaquer shirt, and even that, there was only one size left. There was only size small left. And so that just kind of shows you that like people were excited, they were buying the merch, they were eating this up. Okay. Now for the actual show, the one thing that I do wish that and by the way, guys, I apologize. I think I'm losing my voice. So please bear with me on these post shows. It really hurts to talk right now, but we're going to do this and I'm going to pull through. All right. So there was 5 matches on the card, and one thing, my biggest criticism, and I guess this kind of goes with all WWE shows, it was just more so in particular that I noticed it more. I think it had been a while since I attended a WWE show where I felt all of the breaks, all of the commercials, because usually I'm here on my channel live streaming, and so I'm distracted, I'm talking about whatever else, right? And this time, like being in the building and all of these, breaks and things that were happening. And mind you, this was on YouTube. This wasn't even like a Peacock thing or anything like that. But I felt like there was a lot of video packages in between and a lot of stuff that was happening in between the actual matches. And I kind of wish that they would have sped this show up just a little bit more. I think it ended up going to like around 2:30-ish. And I feel like this show could have wrapped at 2 o'clock. Like, I didn't think it needed to be as long as it ended up being. Now, here's the thing. I also went to Money in the Bank. I'm going to do an entirely separate review for that. So keep an eye out here on the channel. But so I was at the Kia Forum for this show. And in order to make it to Money in the Bank and make it to the press check-in, I had to leave a lot earlier. So at 2 o'clock, I left right before the main event, which was Chad Gable and El Hijo del Vikingo. However, while I was walking on my 25-minute walk over to into a dome, I watched it on YouTube. So I kind of got a little bit of the best of both worlds. My seats at Worlds Collide were amazing. Okay. So I decided to go to the show last minute and I was eating breakfast and I thought, man, I really want to go to the show. However, I had forgotten to apply for press credentials. And so I ended up going on Ticketmaster and I ended up getting rings. I ended up getting ramp side seats. So really, third person right there, row 13, third person from the ramp. I had an amazing view of all of the entrances. That was actually my first time sitting on the rampway. Believe it or not, of the millions of wrestling shows that I've gone to, I've never sat next to the ramp, and it was so cool because I got to see like everybody make their entrances. It was just phenomenal. The one thing that was a little bit difficult for me because I was on the 13th row and I am, a shorter person, I did struggle to see a lot of the matches. Like basically whenever they were on the mat, I had to like, do a little bit of this, look up because I couldn't see anything. And there weren't like any screens or for anything for me to look at. So I kind of felt like I missed out on a little bit based off of where I was sitting and stuff. But I got such a cool experience seeing the entrances that I did, enjoy my time. And also, I got my ticket for way cheaper. So I paid $150 for that one ticket right there by the ramp. And the guy next to me asked me, if you don't mind, he's all, how much did you pay for your ticket? Because I had told him I bought it last minute. The guy next to me paid $450 for his ticket. And when I told him I paid 150, he was like, oh my God, but so it paid off to get the tickets last minute. But the thing that I did like was the actual matches, and I did like that they tried to show, some history in the video packages for this show, which I thought was very, very important, especially because you were going to have a lot of new fans and a lot of people that really don't know what to expect. So, of course, this wasn't your normal AAA show that is kind of crazy and all of these things happen and it's this madness. It truly was WWE's version of AAA. Now, let's get to these matches here. So, I'm just going to say this. I feel like my experience was that I felt that the opening match was the best match of the night. Now, granted, I know a lot of people here are going to say it's Vikingo and Chad Gable, but hear me out when I tell you that I had to watch that match on YouTube, so I kind of felt a little bit differently about it. I think being in the building for the opening match is what made me appreciate this match just a little bit more. And I was watching the show, right? I'm watching this match. It's Octagon Jr., it's Aerostar, it's Mr. Iguana versus the LWO. And during this matchup, I'm watching it, and the person that I'm most entertained by is Mr. Iguana. And he's doing, the little iguana bit. At one point, the iguana gets stomped. It's a whole thing. The iguana plays a whole role into this, right? And I wasn't really like, I was posting videos, but I wasn't on social media because I was genuinely enjoying the show. And I was watching it and I started thinking to myself, all of the new people that have never seen Mr. Iguana, I can almost guarantee that the WWE fans are loving him. And I thought to myself, that's the guy that is going to be the most over coming off of this show. And lo and behold, all of a sudden I go on social media and everyone is talking about Mr. Iguana. And I thought to myself, dude, when I was watching him, I've seen him so many times, but this time, like seeing him in the WWE element under the WWE light and knowing what fans like, I figured, I'm like, dude, he's gonna get so over. And this is the person that they're probably gonna like the most. And lo and behold, it ended up happening just like that. Mr. Iguana was all over social media today. I saw someone make like a little edit of an iguana, like trying to get at the Money in the Bank. And then he even made like a little appearance ringside at Money in the Bank today. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that was already like, if he was already set to be there, or if it wasn't because of, if it was because of the internet buzz that essentially got him that little ringside spot over at Money in the Bank. So I was so happy for Mr. Iguana. I really feel like he deserved it. I also love that Octagon Jr. had a match with Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank. And I will talk more about that there. But I do want to say, though, that right now, the second that they made that match announcement, I was like, this is perfect, because I did feel like Money in the Bank needed an extra matchup because the show really felt pretty short. And I felt like I sat down and all of a sudden it was like the show's over. So, but on top of that, Octagon Jr. is really good and he's really fast and he's really enjoyable to watch. So I felt like he was definitely the right guy to have the matchup with Dominic Mysterio and get him an impressive win, which is what we saw over on the Money in the Bank side. Now, so that was honestly my favorite part of the show. I'm gonna go down the line. So Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice teamed up and defeated Chick Tormenta and Dalys. So the thing that I liked about this was it was so funny. So you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think that I've ever seen Stephanie Vaquer wrestle live in WWE before. That may have been my first time seeing her wrestle live for WWE. I'm pretty sure, because the whole time I was laughing so hard because every single guy in that building was like, Stephanie, I love you, Stephanie. Like, I'm not even gonna repeat some of the other things that I heard that they were, saying to Stephanie. But like I tweeted, every single guy is out here professing their love for Stephanie. Stephanie Vaquer has all of these men in a chokehold, bro. They are in love with her, and she has them eating out of the palms of her hands. And the woman is, oozing aura and all of that. She goes out there, she does her thing, right? The big talking point for Stephanie this weekend was that she had 3 matches in a span of 24 hours because she was on SmackDown. Then she did this match here, and then later on, we'll talk about her in the separate video for Money in the Bank. So she went out there, and I thought really the biggest highlight in this matchup was truly seeing her and Lola Vice together as a team. I thought Lola Vice brought her A game. She knew the spotlight was going to be a little bit more on Stephanie, but she made sure to go in there and do her part. And then also like her doing her spot with Stephanie, where they do the and that was my first time getting to do that with a whole entire crowd getting to do the thing. That was so much fun. Everyone really brought it, and you could feel the energy of it where everyone was so excited, right? So I really liked what they did. I had said earlier I really wasn't expecting too much from this matchup because I love Chick Tormenta, but Dalys is a little bit more she's not gonna go out there and do like a crazy match or anything like that. So I wasn't expecting this match to be outrageously good or anything like that. It was fine and it did the job, and we got to see Stephanie and Lola team up together, which for me and for lots of people were like, woo-wee, this is way too much to handle for our TV screen. So good stuff there. Also, I was so excited for this match that we saw, which was El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown versus Legado del Fantasma. I was excited more so just to see Psycho Clown. I hadn't seen Psycho Clown, I think, since the last time he appeared at GCW. And so when he appeared at GCW, I think was the last time, and that was probably like a year ago. So it had been a while since I had seen him wrestle live. And I love this dude's energy, man. I really, really do. I don't know what the conversation is around Psycho Clown right now on social media. I haven't had time to go look, so I don't know if he like got over with the fans or didn't get over with the WWE fans that hadn't seen him before. I hope he did. I really, really hope he did, because dude is my personal favorite, so I'm really rooting for him. But I still have to go in. I still have to go into social media and see what you guys are saying, see what the fans are saying, see what the AAA fans are saying. Like, I'm very curious to see what that conversation is. I just haven't had time to do that just yet. But I thought this match was fine. I didn't think it was as good as the first one, but there was still a lot of really good moments in this. It's just that the first match had more of the, the high spots and whatnot. The NXT North American Championship, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Ray Phoenix. Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix and Javon, bro, they were everywhere in this matchup. This is exactly what I was expecting this to be. The only thing that I wish would have been different in this match is I wish they would have surprised us with a brand new champion. And I know some of you guys are going to say, Denise, Ethan Page just won the NXT North American Championship, and I know that, I recognize that, but part of me did want to see a new champion be crowned in either Javon Evans or, I mean, maybe not Ray Phoenix because he's on a main roster, but I thought maybe Javon Evans might pick up a win or something. But they kept it on Ethan Page, but it kind of felt a little bit it didn't really feel like noteworthy or anything. And I think that was the part that I kind of felt like there was a little bit of excitement missing from the outcome of the actual matchup. Because at this point in the show, there really wasn't much, news coming out of the show. It was more so just like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is the first time we're doing it, and that's it, right? The other thing that we did get, and this was probably the most newsworthy thing, was obviously El Hijo del Vikingo retaining his AAA Mega Championship against Chad Gable. And so I did miss the first few minutes of this match because I was walking into a dome and sweating bullets, I may add, and carrying all my gear. And so, anyways, I did watch while I was walking to the venue. And when I tuned in, the first thing that I noticed was that it wasn't, the high spots, Vikingo stuff that we normally see. They were there, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't, a full sprint of spots. It was more so of a brawl, of a fight between Chad Gable and Vikingo. So I did notice that instantaneously, and there were several great moments with Vikingo essentially retaining here, and I thought that was definitely the right call. I would have been like baffled had Chad Gable defeated Vikingo, and I really liked that at the end of the show, it was Vikingo and basically all these people in AAA that came out there and celebrated him, and I thought that was really good. I also got to listen to commentary during this matchup, which was Conan and Corey Graves. And it was so interesting to hear how different both Conan and Corey Graves are. I wonder how that played out for the entire show. But hearing it on the main event of it, I thought to myself, wow, this is so different from what we're used to with WWE programming. So the thing that I want to see from this is I really want to see this work out. I really want to see this acquisition work out because I want to continue to see people like the ones we saw here. I want to see people continue to have moments like Mr. Iguana, right? Where he goes out there and he kills it and everybody is talking about him afterwards. I want to continue to see that for more of the talent here on the show. So overall, it was a nice event. I'm glad I went. I'm glad I experienced it live. And the only criticism right now that I would make about the format of the show, which is not going to change because that's what WWE does, is just trim down the stuff between the matches. That's probably my biggest criticism when it comes to that. Everything else is pretty much what I expected, which is WWE's version of Triple A. So not bad, just different from what you're probably used to if you've already consumed and watched Triple A in the past. So there you guys have it, my review for Worlds Collide. I hope you guys did enjoy it. And I apologize for my voice in the beginning of this matchup because my throat is killing me. And I need a little Mr. Iguana to come out here and do these shows for me today. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought. Who did you become a fan of? Was this your first time watching AAA or any sort of AAA wrestlers? Let me know in the comments section below. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye out for Money in the Bank content, and I'm going to work on the Money in the Bank review up next. Bye, everyone.